Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than LCS Analysts, still playing with 100 Thieves and the LCS Analysts. All right, the next category is deleted items that are no longer in the game.
I'm gonna smurf this.
You want to go?
Let's go. Smurf this.
The way this is going to work, I'm going to say something about this item. An active about the item, a passive about the item. I'll say something about the item, and you have to say what item it is. Okay, you guys ready? This item had a unique passive that granted you 100% bonus attack speed and critical chance for your
Sword of the Divine.
Sword of the Divine it is.
Let's go, Peter.
Let's go! Producers,
Easy.
producers told me this category is worth 2 points for some reason.
Oh, you're down 4 points.
Next two up.
Okay, come. Who's facing?
We'll go for it. What's the category?
We're still on the deleted item?
Still deleted items.
Oh, I got this one. I don't know how long you've been playing for, but...
Don't worry, I got you.
This item had two passives. This is the active passive. Place a stealth ward at the target location, and the range is 1,000 range.
I know this one.
Yeah, go ahead if you know this one.
I'll read the passive. It's called Maim. You gain a stack for each champion takedown or large monster killed. Basic attacks will do 25 bonus damage and heal for 10. It's tripled against...
Dude, that's too many words.
Oh!
Yeah, go ahead.
Wriggle's Lantern?
Wrong.
Yeah, boys. That's what I thought it was too.
Res, you have the right
I know what
idea
it is, but I don't know that.
Dude, I have no idea.
I'll give another hint. This item was not in the game very long because it was OP as f.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I don't remember the exact name.
Yeah, can you say it?
Oh,
Yes, that one.
I'm starting to think about it. Is it Madras Bloodriser?
Not Madrid's. That was a component of this, not the final
Okay,
item, though.
think about the final item.
Is it Spirit of the Elder Lizard?
No.
No.
Okay, it's 2 words. Both them start with F.
Come on, bro.
No, it's over.
It's over?
We have it, I think.
Feral Flare.
Yo, just say something.
He just said it. He literally just said it, so it's cheating. I can steal his answer. It's Feral Flare.
They just said it was over, and then Mark looked at me.
Here's the referee ruling. They said they never gave a wrong answer. They just mind gamed Xayah.
What?
Mark is the one who mind game. Mark
my
is
6 to 6. We got a tie game.
Wait, why is that worth 2 again?
I'm mad for you.
Why is this worth 2 again?
No sense.
This is unfair.
Mark is the worst host of all time.
Take it up with the higher powers. I'm just a mouthpiece.
We take those.
You take them.
But that was actually BS.
All right.
I'm up.
Xayah.
Get in there, you got
These are
this.
still worth 2, so you'll be up 2 again.
Sure, Mark.
Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Last one in this category. This item has an active. When you press it for 4 seconds, you get bonus 75% move speed while moving towards a champion or turret. After the duration, you emit a shockwave that slows them down. I'll give another hint. It came with 400 health, 300 mana, armor, regen, and cooldown reduction.
I'm gonna just go for it. Righteous Glory.
Righteous Glory is correct.
Let's go!
Didn't you build that on like Rakan?
You can't give it to them now, Mark!
I was gonna say Turbo Chem Tank, but I'm like, that's too new. There's no
newer,
shot.
yeah. That's gonna do it for this round. We'll be back later in the broadcast for more Are You Smarter Than an LCS Analyst?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the LCS Lounge. I'm Cubby. I get to make the full tour, as I'm guessing today, going from the casting
Smoothie
booth
bar,
to here.
caster desk.
Oh, I mean, Smoothie Bar is after this, actually.
We're really putting you to work after the whole Snoop.
That's the
smoothie bar
close of
thing.
the loop. It's just back to the.
I mean, I got to earn my keep when I chug 10 smoothies before I go on cast.
Thank you.
But, you know, besides that, LCS, pleasure to cast this. Usually I'm casting NACL, Challengers League, which starts up tomorrow, again at 1 p.m. Pacific on LCS_Challengers and Path to LCS. Be there.
Bang.
But until then, I got to talk about some of the players that actually made it to the LCS stage.
What
from
is
Challengers.
this?
Well, I was told it was tier list o'clock, so it was time to make a tier list. These are all the players that have been promoted from Challengers into LCS. I made a tier list based off some of their play I've seen from Challengers, mostly from the LCS stage.
Is this how good they are today?
Overall, like a little bit. I kind of phrase it as like where they could go. So how I phrased it was like S for me was top of their role, has potential to be best.
Okay.
A was going to be, you know, top half of their role. B is someone I expect to be a mainstay LCS player, and actually the first change here is actually.
I was about to say.
Oh, it moves.
There we go. Thank you.
I made this on Wednesday, so Armao has been kind of going off here in LCS. C is someone where. Well, LCS probably not strongest in the role, but still, you know, can play. And then we have, you know, the faces that are no longer with us that made it to the LCS stage now.
I like the Korean edition there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll do. I think that's a positive one.
Yeah.
I mean, Unforgiven over Yeon in such a short time frame. I guess we will be seeing that really soon.
Yeah. So for me, Unforgiven last split was, like, if we had a most valuable player award, that was Unforgiven in Challengers. He was absolutely filthy. And for me, Unforgiven's been one of the strongest marksmen that we have. But do you have Yeon over Unforgiven? Because that is our next game.
I think I would, but
Okay.
I did predict EG because I feel like they've just been playing overall at a higher level.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're next to each other. They're both good. Generally,
have
I
them.
actually
Yeah.
hold on,
Here we go, here we
hold
go,
on.
here we
go. Fire away. Take
My
your time.
personal
Yeah.
tier list. This is
Oh,
very
yes.
unbiased.
Okay.
Oh my God!
But-
Stop
Okay.
what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Is that
It's a
everyone
little-
who is in the building for
Hold
you?
on.
He's literally.
Oh.
Okay.
I think this team would win Proving Grounds like at least twice.
Okay. I mean, at least once?
At least twice.
At least twice?
They could
maybe?
probably win it every year, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did win it every.
There we go.
Can we move it back to
Yeah,
something
quite-
normal? Like that's something that's agreeable.
okay.
I actually agree with Yeon over Unforgiven.
Okay.
Yeon is really, even during Spring Split when the team was in shambles, it felt like he was performing in lane pretty consistently and team fights were pretty good. And this year he's been off. I've loved the Samir game too. He's been someone
Yeah.
that wants to dip
Samir's
into
been
creative
good.
picks. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that I really like for Yeon is that he was a player where usually when I'm looking at Challengers players, I'm looking to see how good of a team fighter they
Yeah.
are when they take the next level. Because personally, I think laning is a lot more coachable
Yeah.
than what you can do in fights. Yeon's actually a really strong laner, and it feels like he's been upgrading his team fighting, which has been
Yeah.
really good to see. I think the rookies for TL were playing fights way too fast last split. It's been the big improvement for this split as they've been rather dominant.
Yeah, I think the veterans for TO are playing team fights too fast, and they just had to follow along. It's
agree.
fine. I agree. I agree. They're too fast.
I agree with a lot of this. I like the Yeon adaptation. The one that I'm looking at is Insanity. He's been performing way too well. But on Graves, yes. What do you think on him?
For me, Insanity is someone where I feel like he's deserved his starting spot so
Yes.
far, and I'm really curious to see what TSM does moving forward. I don't know what else this guy has to do. He took second the last two splits of PG and was really only outperformed by MNS and not even really Diplex, who were on LCS. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see him stick around. For me, definitely someone that earns an LCS slot, and even if he's not on TSM, maybe he could buff up some of the other LCS teams if he's not going to be that starter.
I like the list.
Yeah, thanks for the list.
Like the list. Well, speaking of Challengers players, we're almost ready to head out to the casters, but first, Jojo had some words ahead of today's game.
And I think TL is so overrated, it's crazy, but like, I mean, if you look at the teams they versed, I think they had like the easiest schedule. I mean, they lost to Dig, but we lost to Dig too, so I can't really say anything, but I think they just versed really bad teams week one and this week, so I think this next week will be hard for them and tomorrow, so we'll see.
Guys, bring it in, bring it in. All right, big game versus EG today. And before we go on stage, I want you to know that you will always be my favorite Team Liquid Academy players. Now, on Armao and Eyla today, please.
Got it.
Oh, good luck today, guys.
He's still there. Bradley's still there. We're hanging out, man. He's having a good time. We're having a good time, too. I'm Captainflowers. This is Kobe, and we're going to be bringing you EG versus Team Liquid. Both these teams looking pretty hot right now. Now, yesterday, Team Liquid did lose to the Big Dig, but today, they're looking to bounce back a little bit.
They certainly did, as did Evil Geniuses previous to that, as admitted by JoJo there. I just really like that this is something that analysts has touched on. The Team Liquid Academy players, that the four in this game that played on the same team, did win the Proving Grounds. And quite possibly might be the best Academy team of all time. And now we've split it down the middle here. The Civil War, Yeon and Haeri versus Armao and Eyla, to see actually which ones were carrying the other ones in that team.
It's always fun to have some of those revenge, trash talky type of matchups. I'm ready for it. And obviously, we're just about ready to start with the picks. Bands nearly finished up. Azir, Jace, and Vi banned out by TL. Over for EG, it's the Static Shiv monsters. LeBlanc and Kennen are banned away. Nico's taken off the table.
Pyosik got Kindred!
Fast to
Let's
lock
go!
in Kindred for Pyosik, and you better believe he's going to be playing his world champion skin.
I was going to say, he's definitely going to be playing it. However, CoreJJ on his birthday, wearing his World Championship Rakan skin, just lost to Dignitas yesterday. So be careful with that one. The World Champion skins might be a curse. I am so down for this. I thought that there was actually no way Pyosik is ever going to get Kindred. This man started as a Kindred one-trick pony streamer and made his way all the way to Worlds and won it. Now we get to see it in this game, though. Big hubris, I feel like, from Evil Geniuses to let that one go through. They really valued the OP things on this patch, and that says a lot. 13-12, a lot of the players talking about some of the big bombs on this patch, and they really felt it necessary to ban out the double static shiv users as well as the Nico monstrosity.
Yeah, I mean, Nico's just a cheat code at this point. You got to get rid of her on red side. And then I see the value in getting rid of the shivs, but it's Evil Geniuses taking the Rakan, picking up the Ahri for themselves. Over on TL's side, the Rell locked in for the support matchup.
Which is also one that's really good on this patch right now. And CoreJJ, as well as Huhi yesterday, talking so much about this champion. Really good engages from both of them. I mean, we're jumping through this picks and bans, but I already feel like Team Liquid is getting massive value out of this first 3 picks in Champ Select here. Huge prio picks on this patch, especially considering the players that are piloting the champions.
So one thing I'm going to be looking for here in the second half of the draft is, are we going to get any Yeet champions? Whatever Kindred is picked, I want to see somebody with a Yeet, whether it's
some
versus
Gragas,
Kindred
some
or with
Poppy,
her. Yes, something that can knock someone out of the respite and give yourself an edge in the chaos of that ability.
Well, luckily for you, those 2 that I just named are playable in the 2 positions that Evil Geniuses have yet to be picked. So Gragas and Poppy definitely still on the table here. The Jax banned out from Evil Geniuses, trying to look towards Summit, who has been such a reliable top lane carry for Team Liquid this time around, which is not something that in the past in LCS people associated with Summit, being so vulnerable to ganks, but it really has not shown itself thus far. So the respect to Summit there, banning out some carry top laners. Meanwhile, Team Liquid gonna whittle down on Armao, that Team Liquid Academy jungle captain, take away some more of those jungle champions from him. See if they do follow it up with one of those 2 other.
Yeah, where's Gragas? Where's Poppy? Where's one of those champions that can really throw a thorn in the side of the Lamb's respite? They're really taking their time thinking this one all the way through, but only a couple seconds left. The Rek'Sai banded away. I know you're a big fan of this champion. I'm not, but hey.
Armao is too. I know Armao has actually played a decent amount of Rek'Sai as well, but definitely has a big advantage with some of the compensation buffs that were given to Rek'Sai due to the removal of Prowler's Claw, so they take that one out. Ivern is in actually a very good spot on this patch, so
Don't get bamboozled.
That hover is not just for the sake of trolling.
I would say do not be bamboozled yet, my friend. I'll believe it when I see it. And right now, the only thing I'm seeing is a Croc locked in the top lane for revenge.
It is kind of annoying to play Ivern into Kindred as well, by the way, because one of Ivern's biggest weaknesses is getting invaded, and Kindred is very good at that. So definitely one of the scarier matchups for the tree lover. Renekton, though, has really risen, especially if you watch, LPL, the blind pick priority for top lane. Renekton right now in a very good situation. Wow, I always love Ashe with Kindred. The Hawk Shot gives you so much more information to work with here. Pyosik, I feel like Pyosik is set up for huge success this game. Not only did he get Kindred, but the rest of his whole team is hard engaged, and they have extra vision for him. If this is not a Pyosik World Champ skin Kindred dub, then I don't know what is going to be.
Okay, I'm glad to see something that can do a little bit of frontlining here for the top lane for Summit there with the Gnar, because one thing that they don't have up until that pick was really a tank. Obviously, Rell can engage, but on a support budget, you can't be a main tank. So opportunities for EG to engage on a lot of different members here on TL. What's this final pick going to be? I need to see something in the jungle. Obviously, the Vi, the Wukong, the Rek'Sai, lots of jungle
Viego
focus coming out from TL.
Last time around?
Yeah, buddy, his Viego is definitely nothing to scoff at, and that's what Armao is going to be piloting here.
Let's see how aggressive you can get with it early, because top triangle of the map actually does look quite good for Evil Geniuses in the early stages, and Armao has been very aggressive. A lot of these early advantages that Evil Geniuses have been able to get have been off the back of his play, working especially with Jojo. But now the revenge is not on a tank, and they let him out of jail. He's unleashed on the Renekton.
He's out on bond.
You've got some more opportunities there. If you're able to get Renekton slice and dice flash stuns onto Mini Gnar, a follow-up stun from a Viego could definitely find an early kill and try and snowball top triangle of the map. We'll see about the Kindred marks as well super early on in the game.
Right.
Very excited to see this matchup.
Man, Pyosik, this is it. You said it, man. Everything on this team can enable this man to get some serious work done on Kindred in this game. Both of these teams sitting at a 4-1 record right now, second place in the league. Both have also only lost to Dignitas, the kryptonite of the two, but now one of them's going to have to face that second tally in the loss column. I'm excited for this. This is the matchup I've been looking forward to the most of this entire day, and I hope they both bring their A game.
Got everything in it. We've got signature picks. We've got former teammates dueling it out on the Rift. We've got a tie in the standings waiting to be broken. Captainflowers, let's get it.
Let's rock and roll. It's Summoner's Rift for the third time today. Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. The head-to-head to break the tie in the standings the two currently find themselves in. The man on your screen right there giving the thumbs up. Jojo has been having an awesome split here so far.
And we even got the pre-match trash talk from him as well, talking about how crazy overrated Team Liquid is. Now it's time to show it. They give him their Kindred skin. He's doing the recall right now, by the way. Can we look at the Kindred skin?
Yeah, zoom in on that.
Because Pyosik had a whole segment talking about everything that went into it, and the recall being a shout out to his origins as a Kindred streamer. His little streamer setup there.
Yeah, I got his stream set up. He talked about how when you place down the W, it's got the dragon scales near the edge.
I love the little details, yeah.
When the ulti happens, you get to see the DRX logo in the middle near the end, right when it pops. So a lot of cool details there on that Kindred skin. But at the start of this one, we're not going to get a whole lot. Nobody's looking for anything wild here at level 1. Yeon and CoreJJ just going to help Pyosik out a little bit. And I do want to keep an eye on how much more information they can get with that hawk shot like you were talking about. Kindred already loves being able to track the enemy jungler to take advantage of trying to farm up those marks, steal away those camps. And this 1-2 punch between these two marksmen, I think, can play out beautifully.
Yeah, there's so much utility from this bottom lane that Team Liquid have drafted here. They can make plays off of Ashe Arrow and Rell engages as well later on into the game. See about CoreJJ versus Eyla, his former understudy.
Well, CoreJJ is the first one to jump in, but Eyla just smacks him right back.
And CoreJJ was always so complimentary of the Team Liquid Academy players that were playing under him when he was on the team. When Eyla came into the LCS the first time around, Core had some really, really good words for him, talking about Eyla being the second best support in the LCS, only to Core himself.
Yeah.
And definitely has a lot of respect here between these two in the bottom lane.
And remember, Ayla's coming off a victory of his own yesterday. EG taking down FlyQuest, the Eyla versus Vulcan drama. Eyla just smacked Vulcan in that one. EG taking a
Direct
dominant
hit.
win. Yeah.
Battleship.
There we go.
Found
All
him on
right.
the Raptors.
Armao has been sighted on the chicken camp as Pyosik clears out his wolves. Both junglers staying on a pretty even pace compared to one another. A little bit of a stun from the Rell Q, one of the changes for the mini rework. Up there in the top side, let's see how things are going between Summit and Revenge. Revenge doing pretty good right now. Nice double knock up there from Eyla. Perfect positioning on the grand entrance, but now CoreJJ is ready to counterattack. Unforgiven being attacked by that Team Liquid support, having to pop the cleanse to get rid of the ignite as Yeon now wants to disengage. There's a lot more minions for the side of EG, which means Team Liquid backs away.
Yep, they should still be able to farm these out too. Nice little sidestep there from Yeon, not to take any extra damage in the trade. And they come up a little bit positive in the trade. Cooldowns on cleanse and heal are very short though.
Yeah.
So not too big of an expenditure on the Evil Geniuses side, and they do get the wave in. They do get their recalls off.
And Pyosik looking for the mid lane here. Jojo flashing away up towards the safety of the side that his jungler is on. So Haeri wanted to make the move. It's flash for flash in the mid lane. Armao recalling on top of a ward, so Haeri's aware of that. He's going to make sure he doesn't go too close to it. Pyosik will now grab the Scuttle Crab here in the bottom half of the map. Unfortunately for him, loses the coin toss on where the first mark is going to spawn, so that one did go over to Armao. But Unforgiven back into the lane here. The only one currently in position in that lane after we had to see a couple of different recalls from the bottom lane duos. First teleports being used to bring both mid laners back to mid now. Those resources got spent. Armao coming up looking for the Spectral Maw, but Summit with an immediate jump away. Does not want to be caught out here. Does not want to end up punished for free as CoreJJ brings in the crash down, forces the flash out of the EG AD carry. Now Eyla ready to counterattack, forcing the flash back out of Yeon.
I love this
Liquid
game.
losing 1-2.
Yeah, loving this game so far. Trading flashes back and forth. Pyosik attracted to the extra skirmishing on bottom side, but so is Armao, and they should be able to see that he's on the way.
Pyosik gonna step back there.
Skirted it, but they're gonna call it off anyways. Seeing a little bit of the mist and knowing it's actually taken too long. I would definitely return mid lane though. For both junglers, this is a really, really big opportunity. It's a very, very volatile matchup between Ahri and Annie, and both of them used their flashes in those 2 attempts that we saw earlier. So I feel like whichever jungler is able to get around vision and get to mid lane first to capitalize on that should be able to score a kill, especially as level 6s are coming in, and there's huge, huge burst damage available to both of them.
And I mean, especially from Pyosik's point of view, getting there before the level 6 for Jojo is critical since Ahri gets so much mobility, so much extra ability to dodge away from those ganks once you have the ulti unlocked. But they are closing in on level 6 very rapidly here. Armao going to pick up his chickens. That is where the mark spawned for Pyosik. So still only the 1 mark here for the Kindred so far.
And I want to point out the vision investment from Evil Geniuses around mid lane that is really, really giving Jojo the priority to push up on this Ahri. He's fully confident to abuse his advantage here over Haeri with his level 6 because they've got both sides warded. He knew he wasn't going to get ganked by Pyosik, and they even call Armao over for the dive, but Haeri's got a preemptive defensive ward to scout that one out.
Yep.
He knew as he's getting low, it was a possibility, so good job by him, and he drops the tippers to push Jojo back out.
Yeah, Jojo going to be forced back from that one, but he holds the Spirit Rush. Does not want to use his own ulti to get away. Recognizes Haeri does not have the ability to burst him down and truly threaten his life. Pyosik coming in to try to stop Armao from stealing away anything else. Neither jungler level 6 yet, both pretty much at the start of level 5. Eyla looking to potentially make a move here as Armao is on the other side of things. CoreJJ and Pyosik also coming around from behind. Haeri's got to be careful here. Uses the shield to sidestep away from the engage. Now Armao's ready to come in. Crash down on 3. CoreJJ just messed Evil Geniuses up. Holy cow, beautiful engage.
Pure outplay right there from Team Liquid. Haeri uses the Annie shield speed up to dodge away outside the knockup from Eyla. The old teammates making a swing at each other, but Haeri gets the last laugh. He dodges, and he's got CoreJJ in his back pocket for the counter engage on Rell.
Awesome, awesome moves there from TL as Revenge using the flash trying to chase after Summit up here, who doesn't even have to use his own flash to escape. The Dominus used by the Renekton for not a whole lot of gain. Let's take another look at what EG was trying to go for here.
And even notice the early pings from Team Liquid. They were question mark pinging. Ayla's probably here. So Haeri, he uses the speed, gets out of the knockup, and then as you go all the way in, Team Liquid had the vision, so nobody knew CoreJJ was there and following, and that is a massive crash down. The trap was sprung, and the trap gets first blood. Success for TL.
First blood on the Kindred 2, plus the 3rd mark. Only needing 1 more, not even 8 minutes into the game. That is huge if you can get that soon.
Well, Flowers, we mentioned it from Champion Select about this game being set up for success for Pyosik, and it is going straight ahead with that storyline. Trinity Force will be online very quickly with that first blood. You mentioned the speed with which he's already stacking up those Kindred marks. Just needs 1 more for the big range boost, and there is a mark on Raptors, but they're going straight for the Rift Trail first, knowing there's a reset timer there for Armao.
And honestly, you're talking about storylines. I think the storyline for Team Liquid in these first couple of weeks so far here in summer has just been they're playing so much better as a team. That 3v3 that we saw in the mid lane there was because everybody was on the same page. They knew how they wanted to play it. Having Haeri as the bait, having CoreJJ as that secret weapon to show up the ace up the sleeve. Spring Team Liquid all goes in at 3 different times there and gives 3 kills away for free. Summer Team Liquid has finally found that synergy with these guys.
I will say that they definitely needed that first blood, though. You can see Evil Geniuses still even in gold due to the CS leads that they did have in top as well as bottom, especially mid lane as well.
Too, yeah.
Jojo's been very, very good in a lot of the early matchups in mid lane, but especially the Ahri versus Annie, really pushing him under tower and was able to create some of his own advantages. So despite Team Liquid being the ones that get success in the first play and their counter engage and the follow through from CoreJJ, it is Evil Geniuses that still have pretty close gold, as well as getting first dragon for themselves.
Haeri gonna have Pyosik shadowing in here in the river yet again, but the zombie ward means that Pyosik's not gonna get a whole lot done. Does summon up the Herald here in mid lane, drops the eye. Just gonna use this one to force a little bit of plate money away from Jojo. Armao coming up through the side in case this would turn into a 2v1. It'll be a 2v2 instead, but nope, only a plate and a half. Goes over to TL. Pyosik back up into the top side of the map.
4, baby.
That is a mark right there on that Scuttle Crab. And so for Pyosik, it's a 10-minute 4-stack Kindred. That feels great. Now we're getting into the point of the game where we might see some of these larger skirmishes.
All right, turn on the world champ now. Let's see it. Jojo's messing around mid. He still has flash and ult as Ahri though, so
yeah,
probably nothing there. Even uses his mid push to make a look bottom.
Pyosik starting up his own chicken camp here. Jojo is nearby. Probably just going to try to throw out the Orb of Deception and steal away some of these baby chickens.
He just used Q again inside Raptor Pit, and
all right, he's back out. He's fine. Summit, meanwhile, about to get a solo kill on Revenge. Already used the Mega Gnar, so doesn't have it there to slam him into the wall. Started off the fight with that one instead. Pyosik recalling as Haeri and Jojo continue to just try to farm it up back and forth. Jojo's nearly out of mana, so there's not like he can do a whole lot more here. Just wants to clear this wave out and then find his way back to the base soon to get some more resources ready to go. Trinity Force completed on Pyosik. First fully completed item this game, and man, it's a good one.
Definitely a big spike for him. Let's see where he goes with it, because you also have Ashe Arrow. So Team Liquid have a lot of options right now to be very proactive with their gameplay. Haeri, Annie, ultimate flash in mid. Ashe Arrow as well could start it out. If you fire the Ashe Arrow from Fog of War, even a long distance one, maybe you can make a play. See what they can actually set up here, because Kindred will have the damage to follow up on any of these engages.
Yeah.
Team Liquid drafted so many stuns to try and make use of that. The little stop here with the W, nice from Pyosik. Delays Unforgiven and cancels his recall.
Haeri just using the Tibbers for tempo here in the mid lane. Getting a quick trade onto Jojo. Trying to maintain extra control over this mid lane wave as Pyosik and CoreJJ stand off in the river against Armao and Eyla. Armao and Eyla do not want to overcommit to anything just yet, but Pyosik uses the extra power he has from the completed item, from that power spike, to grab a quick trade onto his opponent, but nothing super meaningful, nothing that's going to last a whole long time, as Jojo again is in the sights of Pyosik, who has made so many trips close to mid. Even if we only have the one kill on the board, Pyosik keeps trying to sniff around and see if there's anything to find there, but it is still a gold lead of about 500 for Evil Geniuses despite the one kill lead for their opponents, because of what you're talking about. Plus 17 farm in mid, plus 10 in top, plus 23 in bottom lane. EG lanes are winning across the board.
Interesting rotation from EG though. They brought Revenge all the way down from top lane to handle the mid lane wave, while Jojo rotated from mid lane down to bottom lane. But that means you get a free turret plate for Summit on top side, and you're losing some minions on the top side. So that little rotation almost even losing 2 turret plates here. Summit softening up the second one.
Yep.
As they try to retain the extra wave towards mid, rotate Jojo to the bottom, and now they've slotted Unforgiven in mid instead. But that means Pyosik heads immediately up towards topside as well. Thankfully for Revenge, there's a ward here, and Summit has just gone back to Mini Gnar anyway.
All right, what do we want to see from either side, I guess, to accelerate the pace of this game? Because both sides seem pretty content just sort of letting things go forward right now, but maybe EG is coming down to make the play. Caster Curse complete. Haeri with a flash away on top of the stun, but it's not enough. EG's ready to chase him down. Eyla and Jojo with a CC as Core with a Magnet Storm into a 4-man crash down. Keeps his mid laner alive, and EG cannot continue the chase. CoreJJ with the saving play, but Pyosik's coming in now. Does Team Liquid want to find something else here? Yeon almost has the enchanted crystal arrow ready to fire. Pyosik goes in and drops the Lamb's Respite immediately. EG continues running. Flash out from Armao, dodging out from the crash down. Yeon still approaching. Enchanted crystal arrow finds a target, but it's only the enemy support, and Eyla can dash away. Haeri summons the Tibbers, but it's not gonna connect in time. Eyla disengages, and EG gets back to the safety of the tier 1 turret.
All right, should be able to recall after that one and finally get a reset. Flowers, that peel from CoreJJ almost set up for another counter engage from Team Liquid, but they don't have the extra power to be able to trap them inside. Take a look at the beginning though. Really good stun from Haeri. Stuns Eyla on his attempted engage, and so then by the time he does get it all the way over here towards the brush, and even though Jojo can follow up with a charm, CoreJJ, Magnet Storm into Crashdown Peel in front of the tower, lets Haeri escape with just blowing his flash there. And Eyla invested his ultimate flash on the Rakan to go for that engage as well, so yeah, really good peel there from Team Liquid to escape. Although they weren't able to punish afterwards, so it didn't leave Evil Geniuses in a deficit. You know, Team Liquid did not push another lane while it was fully invested. They tried to make the trap happen and then couldn't get any kills. So they didn't get any extra push on a different lane, and they didn't get any of the kill money, and EG on reset actually still stack up second Dragon. So as good of a peel as it was to not drop anybody, Evil Genius is still happy to be able to get their objective afterwards.
And Team Liquid was trying to trade those neutral objectives across the map. They wanted to go for the Herald while EG secured Drake #2, but EG brings everybody down, including Revenge, to stop TL from being able to go for that. Now does TL want a challenge for this Rift Herald? Haeri not quite ready with the Tibbers. That cooldown could be a big difference maker in determining whether or not TL wants to fight for this. Armao is still on top of the Herald. That's already secured. EG getting both neutrals here in this second rotation of the objectives. Pyosik empowered there by Haeri's shield to try to step forward, but they won't find anything. EG just wins out over the course of the past couple minutes.
Yes, but Flowers, Team Liquid have unlocked the bonus of triple Trinity Force.
Oh, the Trinity.
Uh-huh.
My brain's in the same place. Yeah.
Now it's, they're gonna multiply. Let's see the extra power. They're gonna need it because EG with Rift Herald. Okay, if you finish the tower, you can save Shelly the health. All right, so Shelly's health is saved, preserved for the second tower here, and it's a teleport behind. Annie coming in for a big stun. They don't see it.
Oh, CoreJJ's already down to 1/3 HP, though. They got to be careful here. Haeri on the flank. He has the Timbers ready to go now. CoreJJ in with a Magnet Storm, and he's got to be careful. He's already down. Pyosik, too. He couldn't use the Lamb's Respite. EG's cutting him to pieces, and someone has to disengage, but he's already down. Armao picking up another body. As Evil Geniuses kills 3, they get the Tier 2 turret. They just buried Team Liquid.
Yeah, they don't see it, but they don't care, Flowers. The split-second difference in Team Liquid engage there. Haeri kind of paused up by the brush while the rest of Team Liquid went right in and got bursted down. It's a good turn from Evil Geniuses. When you're getting flanked like that, turn on one of the sides. Let's listen into their comms.
We don't have to force dive. Just try forcing turret.
Rell flash combo.
Yeah, I charm. I charm. Play poke. Okay, we got it. They poke. Rell's 1 HP. Rell's 1 HP.
Rell flash.
Yo, watch me. Look, the troll. Watch me. Kindred. I'm charming 1. Look me. Yeah. No. I'm tanking. Keep going. I'm tanking. Any.
And you hear that. They say, they're trolling. That's what happens when you're positioning on a team that is setting up a flank, is not close enough to actually make the timing work out. Any was not there for the engage, and the rest of Team Liquid was still too close in following Evil Geniuses. So they thought that they had the play there with the Annie teleport flank, but because they were trying that play too hard, EG were able to counter engage and just turn immediately on them, blow up these low health members, and Revenge, good play over the Raptor Pit.
The blowing them up part is huge because Pyosik not being able to cast Lamb's Respite, that can turn the fight incredibly different if that ends up working out. But stopping it entirely with enough burst to just get him out of the picture, huge for EG. In complete control of the game now, up 2 Drakes and 4,000 gold. Still a couple more minutes before we see either Baron or that 3rd Drake spawn. So probably not a whole lot to fight for until about 90 seconds from now.
All right, off that reset. Actually, Revenge gonna get chunked pretty hard in the side lane. We'll see how much Summit can get off that. There are already reinforcements headed up to the top side, so probably not too much. Good old-fashioned smite fight goes the way of the world champ.
Yeah, buddy. Of course, when he won the world championship, there were a couple of questionable smites.
No Barons in this game! No arrows coming through for that crap.
The Yushi arrows probably still keeps him up at night a couple of these times, but that time around, he gets the scuttle crab.
It's all good. Got the skin.
Yep, got the skin.
Still
That's all
won.
that matters.
Still won.
All right, EG, let's see what they want to do to keep this one rolling. Under a minute now until Baron and Drake both. Summit may just get ganked. Backs away in time. Armao's mist is a big blinking red light. Get out of here. Leave. Run away now.
Exactly. You better run from the mist. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Pyosik here did get his level 11 already on Kindred. Keeping up a pretty good pace. Good vision setup from EG, trying a little bit of a pick play. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anybody. But set up for that dragon, only 20 seconds out. Biggest factor usually is the push on mid lane, but TL are making their push through bottom lane here. Haeri's going to push bottom lane up to the outer turret and then make their rotation over to dragon from bottom instead of mid. Meanwhile, EG take control of the mid, and we'll get that one in even deeper since there's no tower here. Summit's gonna have to run pretty far away from the objective, and his Mega Gnar times out. So good setup here from Evil Geniuses.
Well, Team Liquid's gonna have a very favorable start to this fight if they want to have any sort of a chance. Revenge eating a lot of damage here at the onset of things, but Haeri's got to be careful too. He has to flash back over the wall to get away from the EG collapse. Summit now approaching on a flank of his own.
All right, Flowers, there is no Mega Gnar, no anti-Tibbers, no anti-Flash for Team Liquid. Evil Geniuses have got so many cooldowns out of Team Liquid, but they're still going to go for it.
Revenge teleporting back into the fight. Haeri's about to do the same. Summit building up the Gnar bar. So the Mega Gnar is going to be a factor after all here. CoreJJ, keep your eyes on the Rell. When TL's found moments so far this game, they've been off the back of engages and CC lockdown from him. Summit keeping that Gnar bar charged all the way up, wants to be ready to go. The dragon is slain by Yeon of all people, as EG now having to back away. Yeon with the cleanse, baits in Eyla. Summit wants to chase after him. CoreJJ with the engage, and Eyla is popped. Summit with a Mega Gnar into the wall as Jojo has to dash away, and Unforgiven barely hobbles out as well. Evil Geniuses, they only lost one, but TL took the Drake, and the health bar advantage is massive. They're gonna force down the tier 1 turret right after.
And they might be able to rotate over to the Baron and bait out some more cooldowns here from EG. Looks like it's just going to be a vision play afterwards. CoreJJ sweeping it out. So mid turret down, dragon picked up, and they are able to get the vision around Baron for the next setup. Let's take another look at it. So Yeon does two things. He's able to arrow Armao just outside away from the dragon, and able to pick up the dragon himself as well. A lot of good stuff from him. Then he cleanses the charm to get just outside the knockup from Eyla. And with that stun landing on Eyla, CoreJJ goes right for him. In with the Rell engage. Being able to get that extra kill and the extra objective afterwards.
Man, oh man. The game remains interesting despite what looked like a very impressive EG lead that has now shrank down to about half of what it was. They're still up 2,000. They're still up a Drake. Yeon in some serious trouble here. Flashes away over the Raptor wall to safety. That looked really dicey.
Okay, there's no flash on Yeon or Haeri now for Team Liquid. Two of the carries, but thankfully for them, they do have a jungle carry as well. As long as Pyosik doesn't get fully CC'd like last time, then he should be able to save them with the Kindred ultimates.
And remember, Pyosik got his 4th mark just about 10 minutes on the dot into the game. Nearly 23 minutes in now, he's still at 4. So the Kindred has not been able to accelerate anymore. That Team Liquid lost control over the map practically in its entirety, so he hasn't had access to any more of those resources to continue building up advantages on the Kindred. Also, still no second items completed for anybody on the side of TL. Over on EG, you can see a couple of them are online. It's Navori plus Kraken for Unforgiven Xayah. Horizon Focus now available for Jojo's Ahri too. Evil Geniuses starting up the Baron, forcing Team Liquid to come answer. They are not just going to immediately peel away from this one. It's not dropping exceptionally fast though. CoreJJ doesn't want to take too much poke. As TL continues pushing themselves up, Summit's ready. He's got that Gnar bar. He can go over the wall if he wants to go. Jojo jumps in for the Everfrost. Revenge gonna tank a whole lot of damage here with the start. His core's about to drop. Pyosik dies before the Lamb's Respite again. He can't press R, and Team Liquid is gone. Evil Geniuses just killed all 5 of them and didn't waste any time doing it. It's ace for nothing, and Baron's the prize.
EG looking clean with it, Flowers. That turn out of Baron. You can see their positioning. They're talking about the whole time. Ashe arrow goes in, and Jojo plus Revenge. Revenge flashing over with the big Gore Drinker heal on the Renekton. Then the stun onto Pyosik. able to lock him down. They finish him off again without getting off his Kindred ultimate, and the chase down is massive here. Knock up there from Eyla. Jojo getting the reset on his ult from Ahri. Oh, so
Revenge
big.
is popping off. He knows how huge that was for EG.
He got so low inside the Baron, but it doesn't matter. On Renekton, he goes in with the Q Gore Drinker right into the middle of them, flashes outside the pit, heals up, gets right onto Pyosik. They burst down that Kindred again, Flowers, and critically outplay in the team fight to earn themselves now a 7,000 gold lead.
And EG has been doing a really good job of layering that CC on the Kindred and not giving Pyosik the chance to ever cast the ultimate. Kindred without the ultimate is not half the champion she is if she's able to throw that into the team fight, cause all of this chaos, and Evil Geniuses are reaping the rewards.
Yeah, but I mean, both of these teams have explosive engage, so whichever one gets the first step, has that initiative in the early move, is going to be able to snowball here.
Alrighty, EG continuing to move this game forward. Baron for another 2 minutes.
Looks like Double-Lift is giving Azale's head a nice little rub for good luck. Are you smarter than? Are you luckier than? Teleport to top side for Revenge to be able to answer, you know, Gnar was going for the objective bounty shutdown on top side, so that's why they invest the extra cooldown there. Just make sure there's no objective bounty comebacks here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Hullbreaker's so good at forcing down those turrets, playing sides like this. But is it good enough to get you away from the Revenge Jojo combination? Revenge with a slice, doesn't hit a target, so there is no dice. Everfrost into a charm, into a follow-up burst from the Renekton. All Summit can do is try to buy as much time as possible. He is not getting away from this one, and Revenge gets the payday.
Yeah, the alcove up there, known as the Gnar Graveyard, nowhere else he's going. Meanwhile, Team Liquid, they will get several objective bounties, though. Minions doing the objective work on top side. They do end up getting that tower, and the dragon will be taken, but TL, they are going to sacrifice this. I think it's still a good call. It looks a little weird to be like, oh, open base. We're going to open fort here down mid and let EG move in. But EG already had gotten the pick on Summit, so they knew without Summit, we're not winning that fight anyways. And they did technically get 2 objective bounty shutdowns for it.
But now Evil Geniuses wants to use this last 25 seconds of Baron to force down another tier 2 turret, get another bunch of gold in their pockets, get that gold lead back up to about 7,500 if they can force this one down. But Team Liquid rallies to the location fast enough to defend that remaining tier 2. Meanwhile, back in the base, Revenge just making sure that he keeps these waves buffed up with Baron, trying to put some pressure onto the Nexus turrets themselves. 4v4 here on the top side, still at the tier 2 turret. It's very low. If it gets much lower than this, EG can just force a fight underneath it, burst the turret down instantly, and try to go from that angle if they want. But it looks like they're going to choose to back away. Discretion is the better part of valor. EG does not want to throw away this lead they've built for themselves.
Not yet, Flowers. Eyla going in. That's a Shirelia's pop.
They are finally going to force him back. Eyla getting stunned up here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow ready to lock him down,
Not
too.
yet, buddy.
Unlucky. That's not where Eyla wanted to be. But for EG, they'll trade him away for the tier 2 turret. So it's still net positive on gold.
yeah. They're back up to 7K. They went positive there.
Yeah.
Got that secondary outer turret. Did drop one more as far as a little bit of comeback money, but yeah, you're not super worried, right? Because there's a long way that TL have to claw back to actually complete this comeback in this game. That being said, one inhibitor being down is actually feasible to deal with, especially because mid lane being down is actually the easier inhibitor with super minions to deal with. Just trying to go mid, clear those out with everybody, and then try and rotate over anyway. If you can actually use that to get a little bit more farm, then maybe TL could squeeze something out. But it's going to take a really good engage from them. So again, we always mention step 1 in that, especially when you have a Chemtech Soul Rift here. Pop all these Scryer's Blooms,
Yep.
You know, get CoreJJ and Haeri some really good vision coverage to be able to surprise engage onto any EG member that's out of position. Meanwhile, Ward.
TP. Okay. Evil Genius is trying to make their move here. Jojo ready to Spirit Rush over the wall. Everfrost not going to find the mark, but the charm does. Summit is stuck on the front line. He is not tanky enough to live through this without Lamb's Respite. He'll get a little bit of a heal, flashes out to try to escape, but Armao is ready to execute him. Evil Genius is winning the fight so far with that first kill, but now Summit being the only one dead. Nearly joined by Revenge. He's low, but he's not gone yet as the remainder of Team Liquid has to fall back. All 4 players heading back into the base. Super Minions pressuring that mid lane. Evil Geniuses keeping the chase alive, keeping the pressure on. Trying to pick up that extra kill on Tibbers, but Haeri got away fast enough that Tibbers gets to instantly blink back to safety. Very, very lucky, because otherwise Tibbers is dead.
Yeah, unlucky towers aren't going to be able to blink to safety. EG's still going to siege here, and with the teleport back,
Ooh, Yeon forced to cleanse there thanks to the Everfrost from Jojo. But now Armao's here on the front. CoreJJ with a massive engage onto multiple targets, but it ain't gonna be enough. EG's too far ahead. Pyosik and Haeri, the only 2 left standing. The Magnet Storm crashdown was not followed up with enough damage to guarantee anything there for TL. And Evil Geniuses, they're feeling great about how things are.
yeah, they are. They're also feeling pretty good about their pre-game trash talk, Flowers. Jojo called it yesterday. You always love the pre-game trash talk, especially more as well than
it's worth so much more
waiting till after you won. Not only did he say they were overrated, but they then gave them the Kindred World Champion, and they dealt with it seamlessly. Yeah, fight after fight, bursting him down before he can get his ultimate off. Evil Geniuses feel like they're dealing a large blow to Team Liquid in Summer here, and EG making a statement this game. They definitely deserve their spot at the top of the table. Revenge might be in a little bit of trouble here, but he feels confident with Eyla coming for the flank.
Yeah, Eyla trying to pop the quickness to go in after these guys again is Jojo swooping in with the Everfrost. They're going to lock down the first kill there on CoreJJ. And again, like I said, every time something good has happened this game for TL, it's been because of CoreJJ's engages, his CC. With him out of the picture, I don't think EG has anything they're afraid of. EG with a 5-man push in the enemy base. All 3 inhibitors down now. Mid lane inhibitor is about to respawn, but EG might just end the game before it has a chance to. Pyosik, Yeon, Haeri, and Summit all trying to defend here. Summit about to transform. That's the one thing EG has to keep an eye on here. Make sure they don't get caught off by.
Yeah, this is so hard for Team Liquid. They have no time in their advantage here. EG have Baron buff and 3 inhibitors down, giving super minions. They're actually going to give them some breathing room, though. They relent on their pressure in the base, and they retreat for the dragon, which is just dragon number 3. I guess they had a decent amount of golden inventory, and you want to play it safer here.
Yeah, but you're 9,000 gold up.
You could, I'm with you. I would have went for the end there. I would say full core press. We stick around. We re-kill mid inhibitor. We wait with our Baron buff that still had plenty of time, had 2 minutes plus on it. And with all 3 inhibitors down, you get double lines of super minions. So all you really have to do is keep up pressure and stand there in the base. And eventually the Baroned up super minions do your work for the Nexus towers. But they go for the safer route. They spend that money, Flowers, and then they return to finish the job after taking away any of the comeback possibilities that Team Liquid could have. So it adds a couple minutes onto the timer here, but it still should have the same result.
All right, EG. They're looking to end it here now. Haeri stepping away from Jojo's engage this time. Will not be caught by the charm. Armao charging up that Spectral Maw, but not going to find any targets available for it. Oh, wow. Revenge getting a lot of damage from Summit. Down to about 40% HP here on the Renekton, but remember, he still has Dominus ready to cast.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was better to be cautious here. EG still can take a lot of damage, and Team Liquid have pretty big engage, as we've been trying to highlight. Here comes the extra pushing pressure, though.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. These doubled up super minions are about to create a much bigger problem for Team Liquid.
Revenge got chunked so low, though. Kind of rough for him to play with no rage, 50% HP, no flash either. Late game team fights with no flash, Renekton is definitely not the same animal as he is with a full HP bar.
He's more of an iguana.
Flash. Yeah, exactly. The rest of EG, though, they're trying to keep up the siege, and TL, really good defense from them.
Haeri with a nice job there, avoiding some of the charm from Jojo, but now Eyla goes in, finds a knockup onto 2. Lamb's Rest, but finally going to be used in time. CoreJJ stays alive thanks to his jungler. Eyla and Unforgiven trying to get away. Summit coming around from behind, looks for the angle here with the EG, carries in the back line. Revenge critically low, the same for multiple players here on Evil Geniuses. Summit chasing after Armao, forcing him to go over the wall here in full retreat. Team Liquid holds the line.
TL with the defense here, and Summit's not done. He's going to try and chase down Armao. It's a super blast cone.
There he goes. The Gnar has chosen to yeet, and Armao is deleted from the game. Nicely done, Summit. He picks one up there. That's going to buy him 45 seconds of at least a little bit less pressure. But again, it's these super minions doubled up. This is constantly flooding into the base. At least here in about 30 seconds, that bottom lane inhibitor is going to respawn. That'll stop the doubled up super minions in the other lanes.
Yeah, but that Nexus tower took a beating. It's almost dead. Will slowly regenerate a little bit. In hindsight, now I'm kind of happy that they went with the safer route, EG, instead of trying to push an end and then giving, possible dragon objective bounty. So due to the good defense here from Team Liquid, huddling, defending their Nexus towers, they've got a nice angle for possible comeback actually in this game, despite the mega lead that Evil Geniuses had.
And I got to give props to Haeri for having a quick beat there, stepping away from the Everfrosts and Charms of JoJo's Ahri, making sure that they got the opportunity to try to counter-engage instead, forcing that early stopwatch out of JoJo, giving themselves the opportunity to actually hit back against these guys. Pyosik being able to fire off Lamb's Respite, like I've been saying the whole game, there's a big difference between whether or not that ulti comes out.
Certainly is, certainly is. EG trying to return to keep the pressure on. Probably with the results of the last fight, just keep them trapped inside base for another minute, and they've got plenty of vision leading up to Baron. We already know how good EG's turn off of Baron was. We saw it demonstrated in the last time around. So if you've got complete warding in all of the river and the jungle heading up towards Baron, they should be able to have a nice little setup there. If you really want to reduce risks though, it's only going to be another 30 seconds after Baron spawns to have Dragon Soul pop up.
Right.
And that has a lot less risk with a very similar reward for yourselves to be able to actually get Soul.
Revenge eating a ton of damage from somebody here. This Gnar is a problem in the 1v1. Revenge uses his Dominus, loses his Sterix. Pretty important there, Summit, just picking that up very easily. The Gnar only needs one more item and he's full build. This guy is very strong.
See what they can do. Revenge, as long as he saves his flash though, it will have that Renekton threat for the late game teamfight. That his one trick move basically for Renekton in the late game is to be able to flash stun. So we'll see if he can actually make it combine with Eyla and Armao plus JoJo CC here. That's the key to their turn. Flashes are available for them. Meanwhile, Yeon at least has his cleanse, but no flash for repositioning, so he has to be a little bit more careful. And here they go. This thing's burning down very quickly.
EG going after the Baron. They've already secured it. Team Liquid now backing away, not trying to hard force anything where they have to play into their opponent's position.
All right, round 2, Flowers. That dragon I talked about to arrive on Summoner's Rift, and EG with the Baron. They go for the pick.
JoJo with a flash engage for the charm, but Haeri stays alive thanks to the Lamb's Respite. Evil Genius is now trying to continue the chase as Revenge goes in for the flash. Pyosik kites back, and JoJo's about to eat more damage from Yeon. The volley won't find him. Armao's looking to chase down the enemy carry. He finds the Ashe. JoJo stays alive. Summit's not going to get a whole lot in return as everybody on EG is still alive. And that'll do it. EG was too far ahead. They'll win the final fight. Revenge teleporting into the bottom lane now to reinforce that minion wave. Armao and the rest of EG marching down the mid lane. Summit trying to cut some waves, see if maybe they can delay this long enough. But Evil Geniuses have a 5v3. One of those Nexus turrets is already mostly dead. Revenge goes in and stuns up Pyosik. Summit tries to find the damage under the backline on the other side of the base. He's not Mega Gnar just yet. Unforgiven goes up into the skies. The feathers fly. It's a shutdown over to the AD carry from EG. The Nexus turrets are gonna go, and Team Liquid is gonna fall. Evil Geniuses take them down. 38 minutes in.
And EG are your second best team in the LCS. Undisputed, Unforgiven, absolute stomp here. Nicely played. TL with some good defense, trying to keep it alive. But EG, so many of these snap plays. JoJo playing out of his mind on this Ahri. A lot of good CC chains on the Kindred to nullify that ultimate. Finding so many picks.
Well done to EG. Team Liquid digging in and defending pretty well when their backs were against the wall, but just failing some of those executions on the mid-game fights. losing out to an EG squad that had the coordination down better, that were able to burst down Pyosik before he could ult, giving themselves the position in the game where they were 6,000 gold ahead. What a game.
It's been said so many times already with this EG roster, but giving these players chances, a lot of them second chances, to really show their stuff on stage. And with Jojo going into this hyperbolic time chamber training session in between spring and summer, coming back, looking in great form.
He's looking like 2022 Jojo again, right? He's looking good. Let's take another look at how this last fight went, because he was the one starting it off.
Yeah, on the Ahri, he looks for the pick, he sees Haeri, he ult, flash, hits it, and even though Pyosik's able to get his Kindred ult to save Haeri, they still have to retreat back over it, and Eyla chases him, gets the knock up on the Yeon before joining with Revenge. Revenge being able to pull off that flash stun Renekton play, allowing for Unforgiven and Jojo in the backside to kite out. None of their carries go down for EG. They usher up the minion wave as well, while Revenge teleports instantly and end the game off of that.
With the game wrapped up, an official announcement starting next Wednesday, June 28th, drops are returning to the LCS. So log into lolesports.com and watch next week for a chance to earn esports capsules, masterwork chests, and more. And with EG's victory over Team Liquid, we're more than halfway through the final day of week number 2 here. So we're going to go ahead and toss to break. FlyQuest versus Dignitas coming up next. Haeri on the flank, he has the timbers ready to go now. CoreJJ in with a magnet storm, and he's got to be careful, he's already down. Pyosik 2, he couldn't use the Lamb's Respite. EG's cutting him to pieces, and Summit has to disengage, but he's already down. Summit's ready, he's got that Gnar bar. He can go over the wall if he wants to go. Jojo jumps in for the Everfrost. Revenge gonna take a whole lot of damage here with the start. His core's about to drop. Pyosik dies before the Lamb's Respite again. He can't press R, and Team Liquid is gone. Evil geniuses just killed all 5 of them and didn't waste any time doing it.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Typical beginner's mistake.
Yes, they all start from the outside.
So, will we help him?
What else? Here, try it with Red Bull.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Can't stop, won't stop till we on top. Quit, I think not. Coming hot for the #1 spot, yeah. No key, got the game on lock, ayy. Big threes when I take my shot, ayy. On the rise and we ain't gon' drop on the grind. It's our time, just watch. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Ayy, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Ayy, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We can't be contained when we leave the game. My name will remain. We don't need the fame. You can keep this chain. We broke free, so things won't be the same. Nah, on the mission, gotta get it. Let's work. We were raised on the net. I'm raising my net worth, but it ain't about the money. Nah, it ain't about the cause. All that matters is the one knows who we are. Stars. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it